Welcome to the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If it's your first time here, hit that like, subscribe to this channel, and welcome to the Blah 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 podcast. Hey everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to the podcast. I'm Marlene. I'm the content creator of Marlene Saunders Show, and we have real talk over here. We have conversations. I do these podcasts Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, let's get right into the topic of the day. Today's topic is about social media and asking the chat family, what do you think about should your children have social media accounts, or do you think it's good, or do you think it's bad, or what's your opinion? Personally, I have seen the dangers of children and social media, and I'm going to share my screen so that I can share the information that I found on Google. And let me see if it's sharing. Yeah, it's sharing. So, one of the things that we don't really think about, I don't think anybody wants to be that parent that, like, no parent really likes to enforce rules, but there's certain things that you have to do for your children to protect them. You never know who is behind that screen. You don't know what they're talking about. You don't know what they're being influenced, what they're learning. And we have to keep our eyes open. One thing, a danger for social media is cyberbullying. And, I didn't grow up in the age of cyberbullying. I was already grown when, like, it got serious about social media. I think I was in college when social media really became a thing. But really, we have to think about cyberbullying because kids can be harassed, they can be teased, and there's a lot of things that they can be bullied into by their peers. They can be embarrassed. If they have accounts, people will tag them into things, so they'll be have access to seeing things that is not really in your control. So you really have to be very careful of what your children are doing, if you allow them to have a social media account, because they could be putting on things that is very inappropriate, because young people really don't understand the dangers of putting themselves out there, showing pictures of themselves in certain clothing that's inappropriate, or sharing their location, where they are at the moment. And you never know who on that social media is watching. Even them posting things that is very private and personal, like their address, their phone number, what school they go to. It's very dangerous, and we have to warn children about things because they really don't understand. They just think that you're uncool, you're mean, or you don't want them to have any fun, or you're boring, but we have to look at all of these things. My personal opinion is, when I think about social media and everything, I do have an age that I think no child should have a social media before this time. But of course, like I'm saying, it's my personal opinion. Hi, Miss Tamika. How are you doing? Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Thursday to you. And join on the discussion, Miss Tamika. What do you think? If you have children, what do you think about your children having social media accounts? I definitely have an age. I think, when you ask the question, how old should a child be to get a social media account? My personal opinion, I don't think any child, if you are not in high school yet, I think you should be at least 14 as a minimum before you get a social media account for various reasons. You know, the level of maturity, responsibility, the emotional maturity, a lot of reasons why I think that children shouldn't get one until at the youngest 14. Yes, happy Thursday. Right back to you, Tamika. So that's my personal opinion. I know to each his or her own, and everybody parents how they want to parent. And I'm not trying to push or force anything. I'm just trying to bring some awareness about social media and some things that a lot of times parents don't think about when their children have social media. And another thing that I wanted to highlight, the dangers of children having social media, is inappropriate content. There are so much things that children can see on social media. They can have access to violence, um, substances, you know, sex, unprotected social media feeds, things that you don't want them to know yet. They may be too vulnerable. They may not understand. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I really don't think that is appropriate. There are certain things that is inappropriate for certain ages, or even just explicit content, things that have expletives, like a lot of profanity or things like that, that you may not want your children to be exposed to. I do think it's inappropriate to there a lot of things on social media, and children don't know that there's certain content for adults and there's certain content for children. They're just on there, and then things can pop up. Things happen. It happens all the time. Things pop up on your screen and they're exposed to it. So I'm always very nervous about um, allowing children to see certain things. Miss Tamika says, I agree, but I was thinking about 16 or 17 or very mature. Well, that's even better. That's even better, Miss Tamika. Um, for me, I think, like, if you have a child, that you have to know your child. You have to know what they're capable of. You have to know their mental status, the things that they can handle. But for me, mine would be they would have to be a very mature 14-year-old, but I would kind of prefer them to be at least driving age, 15, 16. That would be like the best scenario. But I do think that they should be at least teenagers, the minimum, before I would allow my child to get a social media account. And another danger is predators. You don't know when your child is on social media, you don't know if you have, what do you call them? Um, Sex offenders, um, just prayers. They're preying on little children, their vulnerability. They may be asking your child to send naked pictures of themselves. You don't know. A lot of people, we think like, wow, that's crazy. That will never happen. But you don't know what other people will do. You don't know that your child could also be introduced to scams, um, identity theft. They could tell them, you'll win this big prize if you send this amount of money. And then they send the money and they get nothing because, of course, it's a scam. Or they could tell them that they have to fill out this information with their social security number, blah, 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 blah. And next thing, they have their social security number and they start opening up credit cards or other things in their name. A lot of things can happen. And we don't really think about it as parents, but I do think that it's important to think about the dangers that can happen to our children. And I would never want to see children get preyed on by these predators, by these scum. I call them scum of the earth. I cannot stand those who prey on children, especially children who are special needs. I I have a real, like, anger. It makes me so angry, infuriated to know that there are people out there that try to prey on these young children by their lack of knowledge, by them just trying to, act grown before they should, or just because they don't know things or whatever it is, for whatever reason. That's why you have to really be careful of watching what your children are doing, what they're viewing, what they're talking about. And I was just talking about identity theft. There's a lot of scams. Keep tabs on your children's social media accounts if they have one, because they can hack into the account, um, of your children if they find out special things, or they'll make up, you know your child will think, oh, they're playing a game with somebody their age, and it could be a 30-40-year-old man or woman. You never know. A lot of people are twisted, and they need help. They need a lot of help. So be careful what you allow your children to do and to see, and to have access to, because at the end of the day, we're the ones that are the parents. We're the ones that have to pay attention to what our children are viewing. And another thing, a danger of social media for kids is the anxiety. It's like when they start getting on social media, they feel that they have to keep checking, keep checking all day long, every alert that goes off, every time somebody posts something. And that's not good, because they'll want to be on their phone all day long. And that anxiety leads to another thing, addiction. They become addicted. They can't stay off of it. They don't even want to sleep. I've even heard that some kids stay up all night scrolling on different social media platforms so that they can find out what's going on, or especially if they've been bullied, they want to know all the updates, who's talking about me, and all of these things. It's not good. I've always said that I believe that if you allow your child to have a social media account, limit the time. I always have been a person that when children get home from school, they have to hand over their phone. And you don't get the phone back until the morning. That's it. It's not for them to be scrolling on their phone all night, talking with people, even having access to a laptop, um, a tablet, anywhere that they can access the internet. Be careful. And one thing that I will say too is make sure that you put up like some malware or some things that will block certain websites that they cannot go to. Put on some parental controls so that you can protect your kids. And I say this from experience, because I've seen certain things that I definitely don't like, not just for mine, but for like my nieces and nephews and younger people, even for like senior citizens. Like if you have older family member or friends, um, they don't really understand what they're doing, and they click on things, and then next thing they go to one of these X-rated websites. Hey, DJ Tanya, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. How are you doing? Welcome in. And that's one thing that I see that I really can't stand, when these children get addicted. And, talking about oversharing, oversharing everything that's going on in their life. They feel like they have to share from what they ate from the morning to the night, what clothes they're wearing, every place they go to eat. They overshare, they share everything. And that's so dangerous, not only for them, but you as well, because you don't even know that your children are putting um, private information like your address, where you went out to eat, and you don't know. People are lurking and watching. Even an opportunity, like if you say you're out, they could be watching your home, and that could be an invitation for them to come in and to rob your home, commit crimes, theft, or even come into your home. Like I hate to think about the worst case scenarios, but these things happen every day. Yes. Yes. Good morning to DJ Tanya. in the building. I appreciate you all being here. And I also think about, the so many other things. There's lots of things way more than, just the predators, the bullying, the inappropriate content. Um, and this is the one of the negative effects on school performance, because some children, they feel like because they've stayed up all night being on social media, or they're stressed out because they got embarrassed from what somebody else says, they don't even want to go to school. So the best thing is for, try to not have your children have social media too early. And if they are, I know they have apps on the phone that whatever they are looking at on their phone, it mirrors to your phone. I don't know what the name of the app is, but I've seen it. And yeah, so but anytime they open up their phone and look at something, you see the same thing that they're looking at too. And find that, like, they may not like it, but it protects them. So you'll see what they're looking at on social media, but you'll also see comments they're giving and all of those things. I'm doing good at work. Can't stay long. Thanks for asking. I hope you're having a great day. I always am. Thank you so much, Tanya. Appreciate you. And I hope you have a great work day. So that's one of the things that, like, really I worry about all the time for children, that it'll start affecting their school. Some children don't want to go to school. Some children will drop out of school. Some children will get under so much stress from the social media, what either they are posting, or what has been leaked, or some personal private information about them, or they're being made fun of, and they don't even want to go to school anymore. And it even may get to the a degree where that child may want to unalive themselves because of what somebody has said, or something that has been shown. Somebody has taken a personal picture of them and then posted it, and it's all over the school, and it's all over the entire world for everybody to know things about them. And then the children just feel like it's too much to take, and then they will want to unalive themselves because they can't take the stress and the embarrassment of what happened to them. And usually, if children don't have somebody that they can talk to, like they don't have a supportive family, or just being able to talk to somebody within the family, like what's going on, then they definitely will want to harm themselves, bring some self harm. And we don't want that for the kids. We want our best to protect them. Hey, Miss Rachel, how are you doing? Really appreciate you being here. Good morning. How are you doing? Welcome in. Stopping by to show some love, listening in while I make my runs. And I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who stops in. I appreciate each and every one of you. So this is another question that I have. And it's this: do you know if your child has a social media account? That's something, it may sound silly. Like, of course, I know if my child has a social media account. But listen, kids can be sneaky. They can make up um, an account on their friends' phones, or things like that. But if they are looking at it, whatever they're looking at, if you have that app, or whatever they are scrolling at on their phone, or the things that they're texting to their friends, you will be able to see everything that they do as well. So that's important to know. Do your children have social media? Do you know what they have posted on their social media, what they are talking about, and what are the privacy, like, can anybody be their friend on social media, or only certain people? You have to get into those parental controls. As parents, we got to take the reins and protect our kids, and say, like, okay, make sure you setting up the controls. You can have it, but you can only have this, and you can only have these friends on here, and you have to have a private or an unlisted account. And that's how you protect your kids too. A lot of times, as parents, we don't think about those things because we're so busy, working and taking care of them. that we don't really think. We think they're on their phone, they're quiet, but we don't think that the children are unsafe or is some harm, but things can happen to them, you know? And another big issue from social media is the child will want to isolate themselves because all they want to do, just like all the other kids, scrolling all day long, head down, scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Yeah. And that's very that's not good, not only for their hands. I wish I would have found that, but I saw it somewhere on social media where children now at a younger age are getting arthritis in their hands because they're always constantly either they're typing, they're scrolling, like, and it's not like the whole hand, it's like probably two or three of their fingers because they only use one finger and they're scrolling on their phone. So because the overuse of their hands, they are having a major problem with having some arthritis issues. And I thought that I was like, that's wild. That's crazy to me how a young child can get arthritis at like 10 years old because they are scrolling too much or they're typing too much. So, to protect them too, you got to put some limits. How long are they on their phone? Who are they talking to? Who are they around? What are they putting on their social media accounts? Do you know? Have you seen it? Do they have a private account or is their account public? All of those things are things that we have to know. And we're the ones that have to make the choices to be like, yeah, let me see your phone. Let me see who you're talking to. And a lot of parents, I don't know what's going on, but a lot of parents that don't want to be hands-on because they feel that that's an invasion of their privacy. And you know what my personal opinion is they're not paying no bills. They're not paying no bills. And what they are doing is my responsibility. It's our responsibility as parents to protect them and to see what they're doing because they don't know everything. They don't understand anything. Even if you could have a very responsible child, they may get caught up. They get caught up in peer pressure. They get caught up in trying to be popular, and then they do things. They get involved in challenges, and your probably quiet child or your best behaved child will get involved in doing things just to get popular, just to make their friends happy, and do a lot of harm to their health for a long time. And what people don't understand is the things that your children are putting on social media, it follows them for forever. Even if you delete some things off your social media, it does not matter. It's encrypted. It will always be there. Hey Mo, how are you doing? Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Grand Rising to you too. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. I hope all is well with you. And that's something that I don't play those type of games, not only just with mine, but also with my nieces, my nephews, little cousins, or even the friends of the kids that are around me. I'm watching everything, and they'll just be innocently saying things, and sometimes the things that they'll be talking about, I'm like, nope, that's inappropriate. Nope, you can't, nope, you're not going to be posting that. Or like you'll look and you'll be like, when did you get that outfit? Because these kids are fast, and they'll go to school, change their clothes, have very inappropriate clothes, be at school like that, because it's not cool to have on regular shorts or pants. They want to have the little tiny shorts or the half shirts or whatever it is that they're doing. So you definitely have to pay attention to what your children are posting on their social media. hmm Good day to you too. Good day, good day, good day. Yes, everybody welcoming each other. If any of my mods are in here, if you could please drop links to anybody who comes in, I'd appreciate it. Um, And I only have I think two more points here. And I have a lot of information, but I definitely wanted to bring this because I feel like this is a very important topic. And this is another one here. Um, when we say what are the five dangers of social media: cyberbullying, invasion of privacy, identity theft, and your child seeing offensive images and messages and the presence of strangers who may be there to groom other members. You don't know. You don't know. I've heard so many times where children um, are doing instant messaging with somebody that they think is their age, and they want them to meet up so that they can hang out, go to the mall, do something fun, whatever it is that they like to do. And that when they finally meet up and go there, it's a grown person, and then they get I can't even think of the word. They become a missing child. They kidnap them. They kidnap them and hold them hostage. And we know what can happen. So many things like will spin through your head that these predators will do to harm our children. And I know that it's not the most comfortable. I know you're not going to be their best friend. They won't like it because you're talking about rules, and children don't like rules. But you got to speak up for your kids. You have to protect them. You have to watch everything they do. And I always say to the children, it's not that I don't trust you, it's that I don't trust the other people that are on social media. I don't trust everybody else. So that's just the reality of it. And another thing that I wanted to say is that when we talk about the negative impacts of social media, one big thing is that you could have somebody who starts cyber stalking them. And like I said, a lot of people are twisted and demented, and they're into these kids. They're looking for a certain type. They like certain type of child because they're sick that way. So they'll start stalking your child. And especially if they'll ask them very innocent, like, where do you go to school? What's your address? What's your phone number? All those things. And they'll tell them because they don't understand that you should not share those things. You need to keep those things to yourself. They think it's fun. Okay. And then until something happens, and either to them or the family, you don't know. We really don't know who we can trust. Thank you so much, Tamika. I appreciate it. Thank you for dropping the links to those who came into the chat. I really appreciate it. So that's all the information that I had today. But I just wanted to come on and to spread some awareness. And the last thing that I have to say here is, do you monitor the conversations they have? Whatever conversations that your children are having with other people on social media, monitor. What are they talking about? What is their age? Do they go to school with them, or is it just somebody they met gaming or on the internet? What are they talking about? We have to be careful about what our children are doing, what they're talking about, all of those things. So yeah, I'm definitely an advocate for children. I advocate especially for special needs, because a lot of times I'm seeing, as I'm getting older, that a lot of parents don't want to parent. They don't want to be the parent to set boundaries, to say no, because they think, oh, my child won't like me. And it's not about being your child's friend. It's about being their protector. It's about being their parent and doing what's best for them. Not all the time the decisions that you make as a parent will make that child happy. It's not going to make them happy, but at least they'll be safe. So yeah, that's all I wanted to come on and talk about today. Thank you all so much for tuning into today's podcast. I hope there was something in here that someone brought some awareness, that something that you didn't know about, all of those things. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to the Marlene Saunders Show. I go live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, between 30 minutes to an hour, something like that. Unless the topic is really good, then we'll go longer. Let's see. Yes, because my son, oh, I didn't know that, Miss Tamika. Awesome. I know that you're a great mom. I really appreciate everybody for coming through. Thank you all so much for your support. And I definitely will see you guys tomorrow. I'm not sure of the time because I got some things that I'm trying to do. So I may have to up the live time maybe to 9 or 10 a.m. So maybe a little earlier. But yeah, I hope this brought some awareness, and talk to your kids, monitor your kids, and look on all their devices. Be their parent, take care of them and protect them, because these children don't know any better. So thank you so much for tuning into the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and do so. And I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in.